Hi everyone, so this is the start of the third day in lockdown here, which means I have had some time to spend on my Dreams Jam thing, which I'll just show you what I've made and the rules of the jam as I understand it, which I could be wrong, but I think we get this garden asset pack here with trees, bushes, sheds, pathways, and you basically have to make something using this. So you've got these trees, little bits of clutter meshes there like watering cans and stuff. There's things you can make a shed out of, and to my understanding, and I could be wrong, the jammies basically use these assets to build something. Right, so this isn't finished, this is still very work in progress. But what the player's going to have to do eventually is get around these four gates by getting them to come down. Now at the moment you can just walk right around them, so like I said I haven't finished it, but there's going to be four different puzzles you have to do, simple little things that make those gates come down. Now the first one, if we walk around here, you've got this area with lily pads and mushrooms, and to give the player a hint as to what they're meant to, well, spell it out for them really, you've got like this rainbow effect on the mushrooms, which tells you that what you're supposed to do is jump on these pads in, rainbow order, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, etc. If you get it wrong at any point, it just resets to the beginning, so they stop glowing, and you have to do it again, so red, orange, and then if you actually jump back onto the land, it resets again, so that glow goes away. And if we do it properly, so I'll go through this in the right order. At the time of recording, I think there's about 3 or 4 days left on this jam. I think it started off at 14 days, but I didn't know about this until it was on something like 7. So I haven't had the whole jam time to work, just the last 2 or 3 days, really. There's a few bugs in this and sharp edges which need smoothing off, but anyway, yeah, basically, so you do that, and then we go to a cutscene where we see the first gate coming down, and then we can move on to the second thing. Now I want to design this so you can do these in any order. You don't have to do this puzzle first, then the next one that I'm going to show you. You'll be able to do all 4 in whatever order you want, as long as you do all 4 of them. Yeah, over here is really unfinished, and this is a bit of a long walk. The reason this feels so empty is because the entrances to the 3rd and 4th puzzles will be here when I've worked out what they're going to be. So the second thing we have is this maze. So when we enter the maze, it goes to a top-down view, and we can't jump anymore. The reason I've disabled jump is because I found out after I built the maze that her default jump was enough to get you over the fences. So I just switched the jump off while we're inside the maze. It's as good a way of doing it as any, I suppose. Now, as you can see, I think most gamers would understand that the big golden thing in the middle is what we're trying to get to, but we can't get there at the moment because there's that red gate connected to a big switch. And I think it's pretty intuitive that what we're meant to do is go and press that big red switch, or platform, whatever you want to call it. And then this happens. So we have a quick cutscene where the gate powers down, and then we switch back to the character, but now we've got the over-the-shoulder camera again, not the top-down camera. So you need to have remembered the route. Otherwise, yeah, good luck. You've got about 22 seconds, I think it is. And yeah, there's some things that need fixing, like how the fences don't quite touch the floor. In fact, this whole area is going to be spruced up with additional meshes and decoration. Things like that are going to be fixed if I have time. Like, say, there's 3 days left. Oh, we ran out of time to get to the middle. So now we go back to the top view, and you can basically try again. So we'll come back down to the button, press it, and this time I'll do it properly and go into the middle. Now, while we're waiting for all this to happen, what the other 2 puzzles are going to be, I don't know. I think as most of my students will tell you, if you give me some mechanics and say make these mechanics work, I can usually do that in whatever engine, Unity, Dreams, Unreal, doesn't matter. As for coming up with the stuff myself in the first place, yeah, so the next few puzzles might be a bit janky. It depends what I think of over the next few days and hopefully get implemented. Right, so we make it to the middle, touch this golden thing, second gate now comes down, and then you do the 3rd one, the 4th one, and so on. And here there's a bit of backtracking, so you have to walk all the way back out the maze again. I might make it so that more of the fences come down when you touch the golden thing so that you can just walk straight back out again. Without having to faffro and backtracking like this. And then there'll be the 3rd and 4th things pretty much opposite the entrance to this one. Now, as far as I've been getting on with Dreams at the moment, I've just finished all the tutorials. I'm using it with 2 move controllers, which I find pretty intuitive right now. Yeah, so this is the first thing I've tried to build, really, after finishing the tutorial. So I hope you like it, and I hope I manage to get this finished in time for the jam to end. There is, before I go, one other thing I'd like to ask the Dreams community. There's a bit of a how do I do this in Dreams thing coming up. Right, so one thing, if anybody can tell me how you do this in Dreams, or even if it can be done in Dreams, but how do you do what we would call a non-uniform scale in just about any other engine or piece of software? Which I'll show you what I mean using this rock. So let's copy that first of all. Now, I know you can scale things by holding circle on the left hand and rotating the the move controller in that hand. I assume there's a way to do it on pad as well, like that. So we uniformly scale the object. Now you can go into sculpt mode and then non-uniformly scale or stretch the individual primitives that make up this sculpt, like this. So we could drag that box to be taller, then do the same thing for this one. You see what I mean? So we can stretch individual bits like this without uniformly scaling them. But how do I do that to the whole sculpt all at once? Like, say, from here, how do I now just stretch this so that it's taller? Not like that, but, without making it fatter and wider, if you know what I mean, at the same time. So how do I stretch it, basically? Now, I know there's a stretch tool in here, but if we look at the tooltip, it seems that that's not what I want. It's not the same as the stretch tool in sculpt mode, at least, anyway. It goes on about bolts and joints and things which I don't think are relevant to this sculpt. So if anybody knows how I would just stretch that, for example, to be taller without making it wider, please let me know.